Hello there, everyone, and today I will share the culmination of years of dedication, research, and unwavering commitment. My doctoral project delves into a critical and often underestimated facet of patient care, the emotional aftermath of intensive care survivorship. It's an honor to present my work on developing and implementing a post-intensive care syndrome support group. Thank you for being a part of this momentous exploration, and I trust the insights shared here will resonate with the heart and soul of every healthcare professional. This presentation is dedicated to the enduring memory of a remarkable past patient and his devoted wife. Their awe-inspiring journey through a 100-day battle with critical care has left a mark on the trajectory of this research. Their courage, resilience, and unwavering spirit continue to serve as a beacon of inspiration, guiding the development and implementation of the post-intensive care syndrome support group. Their story epitomizes the strength that lights the path forward, igniting the very essence of this project. And in their memory, also, we extend the tribute to all critical care survivors and those who, despite their immense bravery and strength, could not overcome the challenges that they faced. This dedication reflects commitment to bridging the gap between inpatient and outpatient care, offering a holistic approach to remembrance, healing, and rehabilitation. May their journeys serve as a catalyst for a future where emotional well-being takes center stage and where the bonds forged within the realm of critical care endure beyond the walls of the hospital patient rooms. All right, so let's navigate through the key sections of this presentation, which will provide a comprehensive insight into the development and into the development and implementation of a post-intensive care syndrome support group. So in the introduction, we will explore the background and significance of the project. We will delve into what post-intensive care syndrome entails, its impacts on patient outcomes, and why addressing the emotional aspects of critical care survivorship is crucial. Next, we'll go into the methods moving forward. We'll share the detail of the study design, the characteristics of the participants, the intervention strategy that was implemented, and then we'll explain the data collection methods, ethical considerations, and then the tools captured or used to capture both quantitative and qualitative insights. Next, we'll move on to the results. And so this is where the results section will be unveiled. The key findings of the study will be shared, which will then be supported by the statistical data and significant observations. This is also where the visual aids such as graphs and charts will help illustrate these findings to help provide a clear picture of the impact of the support group. Then moving on to the discussion, the interpretations of the implications of the findings will be shared. Then we'll explore how the results align with the existing literature, contribute to the understanding of emotional challenges in critical care survivorship, and how they could shape nursing future practices. I'll also address any limitations encountered during the study and discuss their potential influence on the outcomes. Last but not least, we'll move on to the summary, which this journey will conclude with a summary section. And here I will recap the main points covered throughout the presentation, emphasizing the relevance of research and enhancing patient well-being, and then touching upon the significance of findings for nursing practice and potential avenues for further exploration and research in this field. Okay, so post-intensive care syndrome, or PICS, encompasses a range of physical, psychological, and cognitive challenges that often arise after a patient's stay in the intensive care unit. These challenges can significantly impact the quality of life of both patients and their family members. Understanding and addressing PICS is of paramount importance for providing holistic care to critical care survivors. So as far as a current healthcare issue overview, as I delve into this topic, recognize that critical care survivorship extends beyond the hospital walls. Patients face ongoing physical and emotional struggles that can affect their well-being long after discharge. It's essential to acknowledge these challenges and to explore innovative approaches to support their recovery journey. Moving on to discuss the significance and impact. So if we neglect the emotional care of critical care survivors, that can have a significant profound consequences. Emotional distress, anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder can hinder recovery and diminish the overall quality of life for patients and their family members. By addressing these emotional challenges, not only do we enhance patient outcomes, but we also transform the landscape of critical care survivorship. So the specific objectives of this research project, so the primary aim was to assess the impact of a support group intervention on the emotional challenges associated with post-intensive care syndrome. So this intervention specifically targets the reduction of anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms among critical care survivors and their family members. So these objectives directly address emotional aspects of PICS, which are often overlooked. By focusing on the emotional well-being, we strive to enhance the overall quality of care and recovery of critical care survivors. So this work contributes to the broader goal of fostering holistic recovery, improving patient well-being, and alleviating the emotional burden that accompanies post-ICU syndrome. For implications of nursing, the research carries profound implications for nursing care. By emphasizing enhanced emotional care, the study underscores the importance of addressing the emotional challenges critical care survivors face. This in turn then paves the way for tailored interventions that provide the necessary support to address anxiety, depression, and PTSD symptoms. Furthermore, the findings highlight the pivotal role of family support within the context of critical care survivorship. Filling in the knowledge gaps in the realm of critical care survivorship, this study fills significant gaps in the understanding. Their meticulous examination of emotional aspects contribute to a deeper comprehension of post-intensive care recovery. By acknowledging and addressing these emotional facets, we're able to advance the concept of holistic care, redefining what it means to support patients beyond the physical realm. So to ensure a comprehensive understanding, I adopted a mixed methods approach by combining both quantitative and qualitative methods, aimed to capture both the statistical data and the intricate nuances of patients of the participants' experience. Moving on to the sample, the study comprised adult critical care survivors and their families, as their perspectives are vital in comprehending the emotional dynamics of PICS. By including a diverse range of individuals, we aim to capture a holistic representation of the challenges that they faced. As far as intervention goes, at the heart of the study was a structured support group intervention. Facilitated by experienced healthcare professionals, these sessions provided a safe space for participants to share their experiences, receive support from others who have undergone similar journeys, and to access valuable coping strategies. Moving on to data collection, I utilized a self-reported Likert scale questionnaire to collect data. This instrument allowed us to quantitatively assess the severity of anxiety, depression, and PTSD symptoms before and after the support group intervention. By incorporating qualitative open-ended questions within the questionnaire, this helped to look into the participants' emotions, experiences, and coping mechanisms. Moving on to ethical considerations, ensuring ethical rigor was paramount in the study. We were able to obtain ethical approval before commencing the research as far as the IRB approval, and then we also placed great emphasis on maintaining participant confidentiality throughout this study. All right, moving on to more specifics on the study design. So this study adopted a mixed methods approach, seamlessly blending both quantitative and qualitative methodologies. This choice was rooted in the quest for a comprehensive understanding of the multifaceted emotional landscape that accompanies PICS. So this approach was chosen for its ability to provide a well-rounded perspective. By integrating quantitative measures, this could effectively assess the statistical significance of changes in anxiety, depression, and PTSD symptoms before and after the support group. On the other hand, qualitative insights offered a nuanced view of participants' emotions, experience, and coping strategies. As far as holistic understanding, so this mixed methods design allowed us to capture the emotional nuances that often elude purely quantitative approaches. By incorporating qualitative exploration, this aimed to delve deeper into the underlying experiences and emotions that influence the lives of critical care survivors and their families. As far as the measurable outcomes, the inclusion of quantitative measures ensured that this could objectively gauge the impact of the support group intervention. This facilitated a clear assessment of the intervention's effectiveness in alleviating the emotional challenges associated with PICS. All right, moving on to sample and recruitment. So this study comprised 14 adult critical care survivors as well as their accompanying family members. These individuals provided invaluable insights into the emotional challenges encountered by those who have undergone intensive care. Okay, moving on to the inclusion criteria, we meticulously designed the study to ensure that the relevance and reliability of the findings. So the participants were required to be at least 18 years old and have experienced the aftermath of intensive care, either as a patient or as a patient family member. This criterion allowed us to focus on attention to those who directly felt the impact of critical care experiences. As far as the recruitment strategy, this was designed to be both inclusive and targeted, which did enable us to gather a comprehensive range of perspectives. So this was accomplished by open invitation. So the study welcomed all critical care transfer patients and their families, as well as current family members of critical care patients. This open approach ensured that it captured a wide spectrum of experiences and emotions related to critical care. Direct invitations were also provided, which then initiated the recruitment by directly inviting eligible individuals to join the study. This was done by directly engaging with potential participants, ensuring that those who met the specific criteria were interested in sharing their experiences could contribute. Okay, moving on to data collection methods. This approach to data collection combined quantitative and qualitative methods, providing us with a comprehensive understanding of the emotional challenges faced by the post-intensive care syndrome families. So as far as quantitative, we used surveys in the Likert scale questions. So in order to quantitatively gauge the emotional impact of the intervention, this allowed us to objectively assess changes in anxiety, depression, PTSD symptoms both before and after the support group intervention. As far as the qualitative insights, we have an understanding that emotions often require more nuanced exploration. So this was included in the qualitative open-ended questions within the survey. So by doing so, this was able to capture participants' individual experiences, emotions, and personal coping strategies, offering a deeper understanding of their emotional journey. As far as the instruments developed, a meticulous survey questionnaire was developed that integrated both quantitative and qualitative components. The Likert scale items were designated to measure changes in symptom severity in a quantifiable manner, as like the inclusion of open-ended questions provided canvas for participants to express their emotions and experiences in their own words, as we've just been talking about. All right, moving on to data analysis. So as far as a quantitative analysis, to make sense of the numerical data, we did employ a rigorous statistical techniques. Specifically, we utilized the Wilcoxon sign ranks test, a non-parametric test designed to assess changes in the anxiety, depression, PTSD symptoms before and after the support group intervention. By conducting the paired sample analysis of Likert scale scores, we were able to discern the statistical significance of improvements observed. Qualitative exploration included recognizing the depth of emotions involved, conducting qualitative analysis. I did employ thematic analysis, a method that allowed me to identify recurring themes and patterns within the quantitative open-ended responses. This approach enabled me to be able to capture the nuanced experiences and coping strategies shared by the participants. As far as data management tools for the quantitative analysis, I utilized SPSS, a statistical software package, which is widely recognized for its ability to handle complex data analysis. The aim was to ensure accurate and reliable results that could inform the conclusions. And then to ensure accuracy throughout the analysis process, we upheld the utmost standards of accuracy. I meticulously entered and validated the data to prevent errors that could compromise the integrity of the findings. This attention to detail was essential in guaranteeing the validity of the results. All right. As far as the results go, talking about the quantitative outcomes, the support group intervention bore remarkable results. So I observed significant reductions in anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms among the 14 adult critical care survivors and their family members who participated. The quantitative analysis, which employed the Wilcoxon sign ranks test, demonstrated that the improvements were statistically significant. Specifically, the Likert scale scores showed noteworthy enhancements post-intervention, underscoring the effectiveness of the support group approach in alleviating these emotional challenges. As far as the qualitative insights, the richness of findings extends beyond numbers. The qualitative data gathered provides us with a deeper understanding of the emotional well-being of the participants. It revealed a profound sense of enhanced emotional well-being and a newfound sense of community support within the intervention group. These qualitative insights offered a human touch to the research, shedding light onto the personal experiences and emotional transformations of the participants. As far as positive symptom improvements, digging deeper, the results highlighted positive symptom improvements, including reduced feelings of depression, anxiety, and paranoia. These tangible changes reflect the profound impact of intervention on addressing emotional challenges faced by individuals dealing with post-intensive care syndrome. Moving on to validating the intervention, these findings collectively underscore the effectiveness of the support group intervention. They substantiate that the approach is addressing the intricate emotional challenges tied to post-intensive care syndrome. This combination of quantitative and qualitative data paints a comprehensive picture of how the intervention is making a real difference in lives of critical care survivors and their families. So now we will transition to the discussion phase. We will then explore the implications of these results and how they contribute to the field of nursing, practice, and patient care. Okay, moving on to the summary of findings. So addressing emotional challenges, the support group intervention yielded noteworthy outcomes. The intervention led to marked reductions in anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms. This is a significant revelation as it points to the efficacy of the approach in addressing the emotional challenges that are associated with the aftermath of critical care experiences. As far as the quantitative validation, the quantitative analysis bolstered these observations. The data demonstrates that the improvements observed were not mere coincidences, but statistically significant changes. The measured improvements in the Likert scale scores provide empirical evidence of the intervention's positive influence on the participants' emotional well-being. Moving on to qualitative insights. These findings also gleaned qualitative insights, which then painted a vivid picture of the impact. Participants' feedback vividly highlighted an enhanced emotional well-being and newfound sense of community support. This qualitative dimension of the research serves as a testament to the broader positive changes that participants experience beyond quantitative metrics. Last but not least, specific symptom enhancements. So we discovered that participants experience reduction in feelings of depression, anxiety, and paranoia. These tangible improvements underscore the intervention's ability to address specific emotional challenges, contributing to an overall improved state of mental health. Here are the results for question 1 on the Likert scale, pre and post. Pre is in blue, red is for the post. First question was on loss of interest or pleasure in doing things, hobbies, or activities. Question 2, on the Likert scale, pre and post intervention. Again, this question was on feeling down, depressed, or hopeless. Pre-intervention scores were in blue. Post-intervention scores were in red. Here's the third question. Again, pre is in blue, post is in red, and this question was on resisting help from others or getting agitated. Question number 4 is on feeling anxious, nervous, tense, fearful, or panicky. Again, blue, as in the blue refers to the pre-intervention collected data, and the red is post-intervention collected data. So this is question number 5, and this question was believing others are stealing from you or planning to harm you. The pre-intervention data is in blue and post-intervention is in red. Here's the data from the Wilcoxon test and the test significance. All right, next we'll be moving on to the next section, which will focus on the discussion of the doctoral project, including the interpretation of findings, limitations, and further recommendations. Okay, moving on to the interpretation of findings. So there was a lot of consistency with prior research. So the results that I had harmoniously aligned with prior studies that have demonstrated the efficacy of support group interventions in enhancing emotional well-being. This consistency underscores the robustness of the findings and reaffirms the positive impact of such interventions in the healthcare landscape. Moving on to novel contribution. So this study brings a fresh contribution to the literature by specifically showcasing the benefits of support groups for critical care survivors. While support groups have been explored in various contexts, there are distinct advantages for those who have navigated the challenging waters of critical care survivorship add a new layer to the existing knowledge base. Addressing emotional recovery. So these findings underscore the importance of addressing emotional challenges in the recovery journey of post-intensive care patients. The emotional toll of critical care experiences can often be overlooked, but the study serves as a reminder to those, or that these challenges warrant substantial attention to ensure holistic healing and well-being. Bridging knowledge gaps. So perhaps most significantly, the study bridges a crucial gap in understanding emotional recovery and critical care survivorship. By shedding light on the effectiveness of support groups in this context, this paves the way for a more comprehensive approach to patient care, one that embraces emotional healing as an integral part of the recovery process. So in a larger context, in the next segment of the presentation, we'll delve into the limitations of the study, discuss their implications, and explore recommendations for future research and practice enhancements. All right, moving on to limitations. So there were sample size constraints. So the relatively small sample size of 14 participants could potentially restrict the generalizability of the results. A larger, more diverse sample might offer a more representative view of the broader critical care survivor population and further strengthen the validity of the conclusions. As far as the self-reporting bias, I do recognize the potential for self-reporting bias, considering the reliance on survey-based data collection. The participants may have underreported or overreported their experiences, impacting the accuracy of the findings. Incorporating additional data collection methods could enhance the reliability of future research in this domain. A notable limitation of the study lies in the absence of a control group. This absence limits the ability to establish direct causal relationships between the support group intervention and the observed improvements in emotional well-being. Future research with a well-constructed control group could provide a clearer understanding of this intervention's impact. As far as short-term focus, this also has to be addressed. The study's focus on short-term outcomes restricts the ability to draw conclusions about the sustained effects of the support group intervention over an extended period of time. A longer follow-up period could provide insights into the durability of these improvements that have been observed in order to guide the design of more comprehensive interventions. We also have to talk about recall bias. So lastly, we do acknowledge the possibility of recall bias in self-reported symptoms, particularly when participants are asked to reflect on their emotional experiences. So this bias could influence the accuracy of the data and could be considered in the interpretation of the results. While these limitations offer context to the study's boundaries, they also open doors to new avenues of inquiry. In the upcoming segment that discusses the implications of the findings for nursing practice, as well as recommendations for future research and practice enhancements that arise from the study's outcomes and limitations. All right, so my recommendations for future practice are larger scale validation. So first, conducting larger scale studies is pivotal to invalidating the robustness of these findings. By expanding the scope of research, this encompasses more diverse patient population, and observing the intention or intervention's effects over a more extended period will establish the broader applicability and sustained impact of support group interventions. We also need to standardize support groups. To harness the full potential of support groups, we need to propose their integration as standard care and critical care units. By institutionalizing support groups within the fabric of patient care, this ensures that emotional well-being is systematically addressed, enabling critical care survivors and their families to benefit from this invaluable resource. The next recommendation is professional training on emotional support. Furthermore, we need to advocate for the development of comprehensive training programs for healthcare professionals focusing on providing emotional support. Equipping nurses and clinicians with the necessary skills to address emotional well-being can empower them to play a pivotal role in guiding patients and their families toward a more holistic recovery. The next recommendation is for policy advocacy and emotional well-being. Lastly, recognize the importance of advocating for policy changes that prioritize emotional well-being within critical care settings. By raising awareness of the emotional toll of intensive care experiences and advocating for resources dedicated to emotional support initiatives can collectively influence healthcare policies to align with the needs of patients and their families. These recommendations are not merely suggestions, they represent a call to action for the nursing community, healthcare institutions, and policymakers alike. By embracing these steps, we can collectively drive transformative change that enriches the recovery journeys of critical care survivors, fosters emotional well-being, and brings us one step closer to a more compassionate and holistic approach to patient care. All right, so let's recap the journey that we've taken in this presentation. PICS exploration. So we delved into the emotional dimensions of post-intensive care syndrome and post-ICU syndrome family, uncovering their impact. We then talked about the support group impact. The investigation focused on assessing the efficacy of support groups for patients and their families, aiming to enhance their well-being. There's a lot of holistic insight. So throughout this presentation, I shared the purpose, design, and significant outcomes of the study, providing a comprehensive view, and by sharing the statistical significance of the data that I obtained. As far as the nursing impact, I was able to highlight the implications for nursing practice, emphasizing the critical role of emotional care and patient well-being. And as far as a comprehensive analysis, the analysis has covered not only the implications, but also the limitations, conclusions drawn, and the recommendations proposed. So in this journey, we explored, evaluated, and suggested ways to enhance emotional aspects of critical care survivorship, and this knowledge will undoubtedly contribute to the improved patient care and holistic recovery. This knowledge will undoubtedly contribute to improved patient care and holistic recovery. All right, last but not least, here are my acknowledgements. Before concluding, I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude to those who played a pivotal role in the journey of this project, and to each one of you students, doctoral students who have been along this journey with me, and we've been through this together. So Dr. Snell and my dedicated committee, I extend sincere appreciation to Dr. Snell and my esteemed doctoral committee at my facility for their unwavering guidance and valuable insights that have shaped this work. I want to give a special thanks to Dr. Bonnie Stegman. I'm truly grateful for Dr. Bonnie Stegman's constant support throughout this endeavor, which has been instrumental in my progress. Maryville University, my sincere thanks to Maryville for providing invaluable resources and fostering an environment conducive to research and learning. To all my participants, my deepest gratitude to all the participants who actively contributed to the study. Your involvement has been fundamental to the insights we've gained. My fiance, family, friends, and colleagues, I'd like to recognize and appreciate each and every one of you, which has been an invaluable source of motivation. And it is through the collective efforts and support of these individuals and organizations that this research has come to fruition. Thank you for being an integral part of this journey. And here are my references.